Charles Robert Redford Jr., widely known as Robert Redford, was born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California. Over the course of more than 60 years, he grew into one of the most admired and versatile figures in American film. His reputation was not only built on his charm as an actor, but also on his work as a director, producer, environmental advocate, and cultural force. He was far more than a golden-haired leading man. He became a voice for independent cinema and an activist who used his fame to push for meaningful change. Redford's passing on September 16, 2025, at the age of 89, closed the chapter on a life that combined artistry, conviction, and compassion. At the time of his death, his fortune was estimated at $200 million, a reflection of his achievements in film, endorsements, and business ventures. Redford came from a family with Irish, Scottish, and English ancestry. His father, Charles Sr., worked as an accountant, while his mother, Martha, was from Texas. Raised in the suburban community of Van Nuys, California, Redford enjoyed a fairly ordinary upbringing. However, frequent visits to his grandfather in Austin, Texas, gave him an early appreciation for nature and open spaces, values that would later define his activism and lifestyle. His childhood was not without obstacles. At age 11, he battled a mild case of polio, and in school, he gravitated more towards sports and drawing than academics. At Van Nuys High School, Redford was known more for his athleticism than his academic dedication. Among his classmates was Don Drysdale, who would later become a famous baseball player. Redford thrived on the tennis court and sports fields, but after graduation in 1954, his life took a complicated turn. He enrolled at the University of Colorado, joining a fraternity and living the vibrant life of a college student. However, his excessive drinking caused him to lose his scholarship, and ultimately he was expelled. Searching for direction, Redford set out to travel across Europe, spending time in France, Spain, and Italy. These travels broadened his perspective, introducing him to new art forms and ways of life. Returning to the United States, he first studied painting at the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn before discovering his passion for acting. He trained at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York, which launched him into a new path. By 1959, he was appearing on Broadway in productions like Tall Story and Sunday in New York. Television roles soon followed, including appearances on The Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and Perry Mason. His striking good looks and steady performances began drawing attention. His breakout moment came with Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park in 1963, where he played opposite Elizabeth Ashley. The play was a hit, positioning him as a rising star. Hollywood took notice, and by the mid-1960s, Redford was appearing in films such as War Hunt, 1962, and Inside Daisy Clover, 1965, earning a Golden Globe as Most Promising Newcomer. Although cast often as the handsome all-American man, Redford resisted being confined to superficial roles. The defining moment of his acting career arrived in 1969 with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, where he starred alongside Paul Newman as the Sundance Kid. Their chemistry lit up the screen, and the film's success catapulted Redford to stardom. His partnership with Newman flourished again in The Sting, 1973, which went on to win the Academy Award for Best Picture and earned Redford his first nomination for Best Actor. During the 1970s, his career flourished with memorable roles in Jeremiah Johnson, The Way We Were with Barbra Streisand, 3 Days of the Condor, and All the President's Men, where he played journalist Bob Woodward. These projects reflected his ability to balance commercial appeal with socially relevant storytelling. Even as his acting career thrived, Redford had ambitions to direct. His debut came with Ordinary People in 1980, a sensitive family drama about grief and reconciliation. The film received 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and earned Redford the Oscar for Best Director. Critics admired his ability to draw nuanced performances and craft emotionally resonant stories. Over the next 2 decades, he solidified his reputation as a filmmaker with A River Runs Through It, 1992, Quiz Show, 1994, and The Horse Whisperer, 1998. These films revealed his preference for thoughtful, character-driven narratives, often accompanied by visually stunning landscapes. While directing, he continued acting in acclaimed projects such as Out of Africa with Meryl Streep, The Natural, Sneakers, and many others. Beyond his screen work, Redford's most enduring contribution was the establishment of the Sundance Institute and Film Festival. Purchased land in Utah during the early 1980s became the foundation for a community of independent filmmakers. What began as a modest program grew into the most influential independent film festival in the world, responsible for launching the careers of countless directors and actors. Sundance cemented Redford's role not only as a star, but as a cultural architect who expanded the possibilities of American cinema. Redford was also outspoken about political and social issues. He championed environmental conservation, Native American rights, LGBTQ equality, and freedom of artistic expression. His activism earned him global respect, and his contributions were recognized with the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Barack Obama in 2016 and the Kennedy Center Honors in 2005. Even in later years, Redford continued to impress audiences with compelling performances. His nearly wordless portrayal of a sailor struggling to survive in All Is Lost, 2013, received widespread acclaim. He also appeared in Marvel's Captain America, The Winter Soldier and Avengers, Endgame, bringing his gravitas to a new generation of audiences. His final starring role, The Old Man and the Gun, 2018, reflected on themes of aging and legacy, providing a poetic closure to his acting career. Though he officially retired from acting afterward, he remained engaged as a producer and advocate for the arts. Redford's personal life was marked by both joy and sorrow. He married historian Lola Van Wagenen in 1958, and together they had 4 children. Their first son, Scott, tragically died in infancy, a loss that left a lasting impact on Redford. Their daughter Shauna pursued a career in the arts. Son James became a filmmaker before passing away in 2020, and daughter Amy built her own path as an actress and director. Redford eventually became the grandfather of 7. Though his marriage to Lola ended after several decades, the two remained connected by their shared history. In 2009, he married German artist Sibylle Sagers, with whom he had shared a long relationship since the 1990s. The couple lived quietly in Sundance, Utah, where Redford found peace surrounded by the landscapes he cherished since childhood. When he passed away in September 2025, tributes poured in from across the globe. Jane Fonda called him a beautiful soul, while Meryl Streep described him as one of the lions. Presidents, filmmakers, actors, and cultural figures remembered him not only for his contributions to film but also for his unwavering advocacy for causes larger than himself. Robert Redford's legacy is multifaceted. As an actor, he was one of the defining presences of 20th century cinema. As a director, he gave audiences films of sensitivity and power. Through Sundance, he nurtured generations of artists and reshaped independent film. And as a citizen, he used his platform to fight for the environment, equality, and creative freedom. His story is one of creativity, determination, and purpose, and his influence will continue to resonate for generations to come. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and kindly subscribe for more videos like this.